The yin and yang, the duality of video games. While some people claim that the game is dead, horrible, or broken, there are others that sing its praises. And while I have been a critique of the game, I honestly do enjoy Guild Wars 2 for the amount of it I play, which is unfortunate because that is less and less as time goes on, but that video you'll have to wait for. Unless you remember. Filling aside, there is a lot to like about Guild Wars 2, and it shows by its relatively regular influx of new players. And while I've only been creating for a little over a year now, I have seen players come and go, some fairly quickly, while others trickle out of the game as they move on to other things. But they do not fail to be replaced by the bright-eyed and bushy-tailed new players of the franchise being drawn in by the Guild Wars 2's expansive and established world. For this video, we will be covering what is good about Guild Wars 2 and why you should play it if you haven't been. The first thing that we can talk about is the permanence of content. Guild Wars 2 is here, and the content that is in the game is not going anywhere, regardless of if you want to play it now or a year from now. Outside of class balance and builds, the maps, the monsters, events, and achievements are permanent and fixed. You can play dungeons, fractals, raids, and alike without necessarily missing out or feeling like they are overly trivialized. This isn't exactly true, like power creep does exist, but for the most part, from the perspective of a new player, these raids will be just as challenging if you're progging blindly. Fractals and meta trains exist and are constantly available regardless of the time you play or community involvement. Speaking of community involvement, let's talk about the next thing. Guild Wars 2 is solo friendly. While being an MMO and having elements of the community baked into the game systems, Guild Wars 2 is largely a solo-friendly game and can be played similarly to a solo RPG rather than requiring a group of friends to work through content. There is no story content that requires multiple players, and the meta events that are required to progress a story or unlock alternate endings and achievements are often done on rotation by the community, so you can simply get involved when the time is right. Another great thing about Guild Wars 2 is that the game is alt-friendly. Many systems within the game are focused around account upgrades. The mastery system for everything past level 80 is tied to your account. Your mounts and even legendary weapons are all tied to your account. So your class selection is less relevant the more you play. Many people often feel that the game's goal is to unlock all of the available classes and specializations to a certain degree. This means that you always will have something available to play without the need to consistently repeat the same collections for mounts or feel any FOMO about re-rolling your character. Now, what is an online game without mentioning the gem store? Guild Wars 2's gem store is completely based around aesthetics only, with very few items that give you an advantage over any other players, and most of them are convenience items. But the vast majority of items here are skins for your character or your mounts or your boat. But the best part about it is you can get it through the use of in-game gold. If you're tight on money or you feel adverse to spending real money on video games, you can unlock outfits, skins, and even account upgrades using the gold to gems converter. This means that you will have the ability to unlock whatever you want from the cash shop even if you don't spend money. The only thing that are money gated are expansions. As of recently, Guild Wars 2 has had a good level of varying difficulty. This game has a fairly low skill floor, meaning that most novice players can find something enjoyable, from fishing to homesteads to running around exploring to some extremely challenging coordinated content. The difficulty of this game is largely based on how you as a player want to interact with the game. It can still be a chill social game or a very min-maxed sweaty game. It all depends on how you want to play it. This means that the friends or family of various MMO expertise can all find something to enjoy, and with that permanence of content, you can start off a newbie and work your way through the most difficult content. Guild Wars 2 has two primary competitive environments, and both of them are more or less completely optional. World vs. World, being the lesser of the two, where its large-scale battles take place, is basically an on-demand PvP environment. This game mode is less optional for PvE players because the gift of battle that is achieved through World vs. World tracks and is required for legendary weapons is only achievable in World vs. World. However, it is fairly easy to achieve casually without having to be a good PvPer. Structured PvP, on the other hand, is a place for you to really test your skill, as everyone's character is scaled equally, and all these skills and specializations are unlocked for you. Once your account reaches a certain level threshold, the game mode is available to all characters on your account. The game mode has regular tournaments and ranked and unranked mode alongside hot join lobbies if you just want to try stuff out. The game mode even rewards you with valuable items through its various reward tracks, so you don't feel like you're missing out on PvE progression from taking some time to PvP. And how can I mention the good in Guild Wars 2 without mentioning the Guild Wars 2 community? The Guild Wars 2 community is largely one of the friendliest, most welcoming communities of all MMOs. There are a few problem areas, sometimes raids or PvP can get a little toxic. However, these pale in the levels of toxicity compared to, like, say, League of Legends or any other truly competitive game. Largely, most communities are very welcoming and willing to assist with builds, events, achievements, and even harder content like high-level fractals and raids. Some guilds are entirely dedicated to assisting, turning new players into seasoned veterans. And with that, this has been a video about the good in Guild Wars 2. And of course, you can't have the good without the bad. So for those of you who were waiting for the other shoe to drop, don't worry, it's coming.
Please don't go. It's great having you here.
I sold some paintings lately. Maybe your brother told you?
Don't do it to me. I beg you. No.
Nothing. You have nothing to do with this decision.
Where are you going?
Vincent, we can't live side by side.
Vincent!
Our temperaments are incompatible. You must admit that.
For those of you non-members, which is everybody except 4 people, you'll have to wait until next week to see what I have to say about that. Regardless, thanks for watching. A big thanks to all of my subscribers, and a special thanks to all of my members who support the channel and help me stay motivated. If you want to become a member, there's a link in the description. Only $1. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.